Once again, the group of escapees was forced to make its way through the dangerous streets, which had become the battlefield. They trod carefully, staying out of sight of the demons prowling about. Now and again, they would notice strange, deformed, frost-covered figures following in their trail. In their rush to lose their pursuers, the escapees soon exhausted themselves, and their need for a safe shelter where they could recover their strength grew desperate. They found refuge in a church alongside other surviving townsfolk who hoped that perhaps Iomade would protect them now that their crusaders had failed to do so. Flocks of survivors huddled together in every corner, exchanging news and rumors. A few tieflings surrounded a small knot of people, their gruff voices demanding something from the weak townsfolk. The harsh rule of war, everyone for themselves, had already started to take effect. Some survivors were hoping to wait things out, while others were complaining about the place being poorly protected, and we were preparing to set out in a search of a safer haven. Footsteps and mad muttering could be heard in the darkness nearest the altar, so everyone avoided that part of the temple. Belton, Sindri, and Rekarth immediately volunteered for lookout duty, so they could warn the survivors should there be an attack. The escapees decided to intervene in the mugging being perpetrated by the tieflings. Tieflings whose thuggish faces promised no good had surrounded a group of townsfolk and were playing with their knives menacingly. Bags of supplies belonging to their victims lay on the floor, ready to change hands at any moment. Talking to the tieflings was dangerous, so the escapees decided not to get involved. Wow, rip. The escapees decided to find out who was lurking near the altar. By the altar, the escapees spotted a figure clad in plate armor, a crusader knight, wandering in circles. Like a madman, he was muttering incoherent prayers, threatening to kill the demons and occasionally starting fights with unseen foes. Witnessing this nightmare unfolding in the city must have driven him insane. Calming down the night was impossible, so the escapees quietly moved from, I can't do anything. I decided to help the townsfolk fortify the church. Although it wasn't the escapees' intention to stay there for long, they thought that their duty to help those who had taken refuge in the church. The task of turning the church into a well-defended sanctuary would be easier to accomplish if they were equipped themselves with the right tools. The task of turning the church into a well-defended sanctuary was considered to be unfeasible, and thus it was abandoned. Jesus Christ. Go on my way. Leaving the church behind, the escapees pressed on. However tranquil that place may have been, they all realized sooner or later demon worshippers would have found it and laid siege. The escapees' journey was long and tough. To avoid the many dangers of the city, they were forced to take roundabout routes, hiding from cultist bands and skirting around the wide cracks in the ground. The journey hadn't been easy for Bemir, big as he was. His legs simply strained under his massive body, and on one of the treks through the city, he simply collapsed to the ground, unable to stand back up. After his friends carried him to the nearest shelter, he slipped into an unconsciousness and soon passed away. Exhausted and anguished, Inai suddenly sat down right in the stones and refused to go any further. Her lungs produced a sickly wheezing sound, and the light in her eyes grew dimmer. She could sense a grim fate approaching, and not wishing to prolong her torment, drew a dark glass vial from her bag and downed it. The next moment, her eyes closed and the life left her body. Brody looked worse and worse with every step he took. His skin was pale, dark veins clearly visible underneath. Beads of sweat covered his brow. Eventually, whatever illness had been suffering finally got to him. He staggered, waved his hands awkwardly, and fell onto the ground. His heart was still before he hit the The road led the escapees to a wide street strewn with bodies, black arrows sticking out of their dead flesh. One of the bodies, however, was still moving. A Crusader Ranger, an arrow protruding from his chest, but was still alive. He was calling out for help, curled up behind a wagon. No one was eager to step out into the open, for several dozen townsfolk stood huddled next to the buildings for safety. They all wanted to cross the street, but were too scared of an archer perched atop the nearby tower. A nasty demon armed with a massive bow. Noise and the angry cries of the cultists came from behind. Belton, Rekarth, and Sentry drew their weapons, anticipating an attack. They decided to distract the demon archer and make a dash for the other side of the street. This dangerous mission was never given to anyone. The escapees chose to take their chances. Dash to the other side, relying on my quick feet. Running out into the street, the escapees bolted for safety to the other side, expecting a deadly shout to find them at one moment. The other survivors followed suit, a crowd of terrified people, their boots banging on the pavement, as the wicked demon leered, looking for a suitable target. The archer on the tower quickly settled on Belton. A heavy arrow pierced his shoulder, lodging itself to the bone. Had it landed a hand's breadth to the left, it would have ripped his throat apart. Having found cover from the black arrows behind the wall, the escapees crumpled to the pavement, completely spent. After catching their breath, they continued on their way. Defender's heart was close now.
I will guide us.
Jesus.
Godspeed.
All right.
Done.
Masterwork short sword. He's already got one. It's huge, that's what she said. Extra bloodthirsty to boot. What's this moody fellow doing here? What kind of creature is it even? All covered in spikes? Must have a hard time sitting down. Cut your trap. If it hears you yapping, it'll use you as a cushion. Fighting it is not an option. It could spit at us and kill us dead. So how do we... Alright, listen, I'll distract it. While it's busy with me, you run to the tavern. Whoa, hey now. You can always die later. Better look over there. We can make it across the roof all the way to the tavern and no one will have to die. It's risky, but you're right. It's a chance at least. Worst case scenario, if someone falls right into its claws, the other two can go right back to my plan and get to the tavern while it's doing its work. Remember how you offered to summon some special magic of yours at the graveyard? Can you do that now? I don't know. I don't really control it. It's like an instinct thing. I don't think it wants to come out right now. Sorry. Maybe we could stimulate your magic somehow? Maybe, but with what? What can summon a deep-seated surge of magic? Breathing exercises? A bucket of ice cream? True love's kiss? No, that's not it. How about a good smack in the head? You think it could help? Work, work, work. Bah, it's not working. Sorry, it looks like I don't have an ace up my sleeve this time. We need to think of something else. I believe, let's not risk it. Yeah, I like Sendry's suggestion. Let's go through the ruins. That's a great plan. You bet it is. I'm the one who came up with it. Plan's terrible, but it's the only one we got, so let's go. Oh my god. The defender's heart was so close, but at the last, most daunting obstacle in the way was a colossal monster stalking the streets in search of prey. To avoid it, the escapees were forced to take a roundabout route across the roofs of nearby houses. From behind them, in the streets of Canabras, came cries of bloodlust. A crowd of cultists was on the rampage, butchering anyone they met without mercy, and their shouting was drawing closer. The escapees couldn't afford to delay. They had to climb up and pray to the gods not to let any of them fall to the ground below. Having scampered up the crumbling ruins on the roof of a nearby house, the group froze, hesitating. There was a stretch of empty air just ahead of them, a narrow lane when seen from below, but a yawning chasm from up here. Built a rickety makeshift bridge. World Knowledge 12. After hastily pulling a couple of relatively sturdy planks out of the ruined roof, the escapees used them to bridge a gap between the roofs. The wood creaking in agony, they eventually snapped with the treacherous crack, but the escapees managed to jump from the planking breaking beneath their feet and land safely on the next roof. But the danger had not yet passed. After clanging on the roof under the escapees' feet, the demon raised its ugly head to the sky and howled in rage. Its nostrils flared as it picked up the scent of its escaping prey. Grunting, it charged towards the wall of a house on top of which the escapees were hiding. They had no choice but to hold on for dear life. Athletics 16. Success! The crushing blow shook the walls of the house. The vibrations made the escapees' bones ache, stones rattling free from the stonework. An impact this powerful could have easily shaken the escapees loose, but they clung tightly to the beams and managed to stay on the roof. Sendry, having lost his balance for a moment, teetered precariously over the emptiness of the street below, but his comrades grabbed him by the belt and saved him from falling. Glancing down cautiously at the horrid beast, stunned by the impact, the escapees hurried deeper into the attic to get out of sight, but a new danger awaited them there. As they were making their way through the building, the escapees sensed a familiar smell, smoke. One wing of the building was already in flames. The defender's heart was just out of their reach. The way forward blocked by fire. Mobility. Success! Not wasting any time, the escapees ran through the burning attic and nimbly dodged the hungry tongues of flame reaching for their clothes, jumped over holes burned through the floor, and finally made it to the other side of the roof. Rakarth, bringing up the rear, was a step away from escaping the fire's embrace when the floor beneath him crumpled. In desperation, he latched onto the boards and immediately hissed in pain. His hand impaled on a frightening large nail poking out of the floor. Hanging over the boiling sea of flames, Rakarth could feel his fingers weakening. Suddenly, someone's firm hand grabbed him by the wrist, and Belton heaved Rakarth from the jaws of fiery death. After getting a good look at the hole in his palm, Rakarth glared at Sendry and asked grimly, "So whose brilliant idea was it to get up on the roofs again?" But despite Rakarth's sullen remark, the escapees had indeed reached Defender's heart, leaving the dangerous monster behind. Climbing down from the roof, they saw the warriors rushing out of the tavern, gesturing for them to hurry inside. Was it really true? Had they finally made it? Kill Sealer. I'm wearing medium armor, I think. An extra Slayer talent. Let's take shield focus. With a nail through the hand like that, would that have given him holy touch? Boo! Whenever you challenge positive energy to heal the living or negative energy to heal the undead, you do not affect enemies. Selective channeling sounds sick. Huh. Greater elemental focus. What is spell focus? Okay. Focus even more on fire. Wait, we get 2 feats? Oh, a wizard bonus feat. Spell penetration. Fireball and battering blast. Let's go with that. Combat casting. Oh no, spell penetration. Spell penetration's so good. Get in quickly! As he stands out here and levels up. Tell Irabeth about the monsters. Hey, what's up, Graysville? There you are. Anivia is the name. Rakarth told me about your little stroll across the city. Not bad at all. Ever thought of joining an order? There are plenty of free spots in the Eagle's Watch right now, just saying. That's wonderful. No one's asked me to become a knight before. I wonder why. I thought orders would be lining up to get a talent like you in their ranks. Exactly what I thought. But hey-oh, doesn't matter. At least now we have finally seen our true worth. This DLC is hard. Yeah, I turned it down to story mode, and even then it was kicking my ass. I've been complaining a lot about this DLC. The difficulty is insane. I had like 4 level 1s in the first area, and I had a level 11 monster attack. I'm like, how does the game even expect me to win? It just does not. Can I help with the tavern defense? You and Rakarth already did your bit. Yeah, the gelatinous, it was 3 gelatinous cubes and a gelatinous monument. And I was just like, are you fucking kidding me? It'll do nobody any good if you go roaring into battle, staggering from exhaustion, and heroically fall on the cultists' blades. I appreciate the offer, I really do, but it's best if you rest. You're the person who trained Rakarth, he's tough. Right, my school taught him everything he knows. My school in the streets of Canabras. This city teaches you things that you ain't never heard in no university. I don't even know what they get up to in those universities. I've never even gotten as far as the doorstep on any of them. They all gabbled nonsense about high standards of scholarship and about the rules of setting out manuscripts, how wide the margins ought to be, what color of ink to use. I would think that a true academic would be able to work out such things for themselves. Well, if that's true, then the journey alone should be worth at least 1 dissertation. Sure, why not? Now we're talking. But rest of you, but you rest up for now. After that trek, you've earned it. Don't worry about the heart. We ain't gonna let nobody in. Tomorrow, I'll tell you what we've got going on here, and when I can think straight. I don't know what you've been thinking. I don't know what you think being a part of an order is like, but prepare to be disappointed. Words, man.
Let us press on.
So this is obviously before the end of the first chapter, but while my group is gone. Yeah, no, I definitely I can appreciate the story plot and everything. It's absolutely a horrible setup. Show me what you've got. I also just installed a mod that gives me like unlimited carry weight and stuff because it's not worth it trying to like deal with carry weight and shit. Game gives you so much crap. Toy box, we all installed it at some point. How does everybody know exactly the mod I used? I guess it's because everybody uses it. They're all like, oh, fuck this. Price in descending order. Gonna buy all of those. Oh. Demon Slayer soup. How much are these? 300. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. That's what I wanted to do. Also, is there a way to pause if you're in combat and you accidentally misclick and your guy starts walking clear to the other side of the world? Is there a way to stop that? Or are you just fucked? H for hold, maybe? I'll have to try that. I don't think I ever tried that. Because I think I panic, because like in Baldur's Gate, it's completely different. It's just space. And space is like, hurry it up in this game. So then I'm even extra screwed. Blah, blah, blah. Show me your wares. Yep. Well, that was worthless. Oh, so this is on the raid of the place. Okay. This guy wants Sindri? Well, I just hit level 5, so that should help a little bit, I think. Maybe I'll actually be able to hit something.
There he is on yonder hill. I bet he's pulling some awful faces at us from under that ridiculous mask. Yup. Let's wallop him so he sends us back and troubles us no more.
Hold on. Aren't you going to explain any of this? Where are we? Who is that fool in the mask, and what does he want from us?
I don't know. I swear I don't.
You said he was after you, so you do know something.
I can make a pretty good guess, more like. You see, how do I explain it? I swear on my fluffy socks that I don't know what I've got myself tangled up in. That fellow's been on my tail for days and days, even before I got to Canabras. I could sense his presence deep in my gut, and that's all I know. I bet he's got something nasty in mind. Hey, you! Why don't you come down here and tell us who you are and what you want from us? At last you're mine. You will pay for making me chase after you for so long. You tried to deny me what was mine by right. And the rod, my rod, you will pay for that.
What do you want from us?
From you, I want you to die. From the gnome, I want a stolen treasure. Something he acquired by chance. Great power. It is mine. Mine.
What do you want from him?
It is something that came into his possession by chance. Something he does not understand. A shard of the Great One's power. The same power resides within me. But I mastered it. I absorbed it. I learned its ways. Once I have gathered all the shards, my master will be reborn.
Who do you serve?
The mortals have forgotten the name of the Great One. They will remember it. They will remember it and tremble. Hear the name of my master and yours, doomed ones. Sithard.
Huh? I thought he was gonna say Baphomet or Discari. Sith who? Well, that's a new one for me.
Release Sindri.
I have hunted him for a long time. He is mine, mine by right. He has
is my treasure. And you do not dare to give me orders. You will all suffer the same fate. You will be but frozen bones beneath my feet.
Someone's cocky. Aren't you afraid you'll slip?
Where are we?
In the abyss. In the kingdom of my master. Your master too. The master of all worlds.
How long have you been following us?
Not you. The gnome. A long time. Too long.
Name yourself.
My face is hidden. My name shrouded in secret. I am a servant of the Great One, and a vessel for his might. I am nothing, but I am destined for greatness.
The usual cultist gabble. Sounds mysterious, but it's just empty words.
Ha! Maybe I didn't know how to wield this power, but I swear on my bandaged eye that I will soon learn! Thanks for keeping him talking. While he was poking around in my head, I was poking around in his. Alright then, let's get ourselves back home before he gains the upper hand again.
Whose side are you even on? What's going on here?
I'm on our side, of course. Who else's? As for what's going on, I heard the same as you. That scoundrel serves someone called Sithod. No doubt a hideous creature with a name like that. He carries within him a piece of this Sithod's power, and it seems I do too. I don't have a clue what's going on, but everything's relatively clear. Alright, enough chit-chat. This villain will come to at any moment and close the portal. Get going. Shoo! Don't you worry about me. I'll be sticking around here.
Yeah, we'll face it down together.
Have you lost your mind? We're in the middle of nowhere, in a blizzard, without hats, gloves, or even a fur coat between us. And now with no way home. You'll live to regret this, mark my words you will. But, even so, thank you. You are true friends. Your words have warmed my heart. Well, since we're all stuck here now, onward. Let's take down that masked madman.
Can't hide my mouse behind me anymore. Edge. Far from the world of mortals, the portal closes between the planes. Wait, the portal between the planes slams shut, cutting off the small party's way back home. They had come so far through the ravaged Canabras. They had evaded so many deadly perils. Surely they had not survived all that to die without a trace in the freezing cold far from the mortal world. Of course not, but the fate of those brave souls long remained a mystery. Okay. Alright, so if I hit continue, what's that going to do? Is that going to pick up here when I'm outside the place? Or is it going to go back to the original game? No, okay. Low game. This one. Well, I'll be playing through the Lord of Nothing. Eventually. Although I may respec my dudes. We'll see. I'm not exactly excited about how they work. Alright. Alright. Social? I don't know who that is.
Pay attention!
Oh, that's right, that's right. You learned something from this book. Is it going to tell me what it is? Nope, it's not. Oh, I love when they do that. It's like, you learn something and you're like, I don't know what it is. Is there a storyteller here? Did I talk to him yet?
Over there!
Yo, horse armor, let's go. Hey, there's the Prestidigipainter Golem. I didn't think he was coming.
Move out!
I think there's all new loot after I talk to the queen.
Head on!
Aaron? Oh yeah, I know who that is. Chapel tent.
I lead. You follow.
What am I supposed to do? Five vials of magical essence. I think I have that now. Talk to Social. Talk to Inquisitor Leoter. Okay. Okay. Alright, so I need to talk to There's a mysterious elf. Weird. How can I help you? The wound. Can you tell me if it's some kind of demonic curse? Can you will the wound to open? No, that's a shame. Perhaps you know of other cases like this? In 4671, a Modavian army corporal had all of his bones and cartilage turned to glass. Her skin simply came away like she was boiled. And, oh, you don't have to have the insects crawling all over you. Think it's dangerous? Most likely is dangerous, yes. You are under some kind of protection of Iomedae. She's granted you mythic powers, as they say. Surely the inheritor would not leave you to face this alone. Have you perhaps noticed that the wound opens a moment when you waver in your faith? What can you tell me about it? Sorry I couldn't tell you anything useful. See you later.
Onward!
Take Erebeth stuff. Storyteller in here? Nevia is. Alright, I have books in here. Medic tent, the chapel tent, Leoder. Glowing croissant, poisson. Yeah, a chest full of books and decapitated heads. Yeah, I have no idea where they're coming from. They just miraculously show up in my inventory sometimes.
Move out!
Okay. I guess the storyteller isn't here. Bummer.
Head on!
Alright, well let's talk to Leoder. Commander, let me personally congratulate you on your new title and thank you for your time in advance. I am Leoder, an Inquisitor of the Church of Iomedae, Bringer of Light. I require your assistance in a certain delicate matter involving one of your companions, Count Darren Orende. Are you one of Prelate Hulrun's followers? Yes. Were you there during the attack of Canabras? Yeah, what is your opinion on his atrocities? Usually people reveal such things about themselves only to their confessor. not to some curious stranger. Still, I did ask for your help, and that imposes certain obligations upon me. Let me put it like this. I spent enough years on Prelate Holrun's side to learn how to keep him from going over the line. He was an extraordinary man, the vengeful sword of our goddess in human form. He was fighting in the vanguard, fearlessly taking down demons, exposing the cultist plots all by himself. He had served the Inquisition twice as long as I have, and eventually his own paranoia and monumental sense of responsibility eroded his mind. Where were you during the attack on Canabras? I was on the hunt, a very successful one. As often happens in life, the minor success was a mere harbinger of a larger failure. If I hadn't been so far away from Canabras on the day of the attack, I might have been able to help my comrades and prevent a number of deaths. Thank you. What brings you here? I ask that you assist the Church of Iomedae in an investigation of the utmost importance. I understand that the leader of the crusade has plenty of other matters to attend to, but please allow me to tell you the details. Perhaps it will explain why I'm calling upon you. I suppose that you have already heard about Count Orende's story. I referred to the tragedy at Heaven's Edge Estate. You're going to investigate this old case again, aren't you? Yes, I am. I have several reasons to doubt the widely shared account of exactly what happened at this estate and how it happened. See, Commander, I was among those sent to examine the estate after the incident. I saw everything with my own eyes, and I still remember it clearly, even though it feels like it happened a lifetime ago. Heaven's Edge was a unique place that still carried the spirit of old Mendev. Mendev before the whirlwind. And yet on that day, it turned into a labyrinthine house of horrors, something only seen in our nightmares. Apologies for the digression. I wanted to tell you about my suspicions. Everything about the incident seemed odd. Why was the only person left alive a young boy with a newfound talent for divine magic? Why did nobody send to Canabras for help, even though the agony spanned several hours? We found the demons dead with their heads cut off. When we got to the estate, how were they defeated? How did the disease kill all of the paladins present at the estate, who are said to be immune to any disease? The demons had found a way to penetrate the Holy Warrior's defenses. Why was this never repeated since the tragedy at Heaven's Edge? You were the only person who can help me, because the only living witness of those events is currently serving in your army. Your army's route will take you near the very site of the tragedy. Heaven's Edge has been abandoned and sealed with potent magic throughout all these years, and only the Count has the ability to break that seal. He is unlikely to invite an Inquisitor inside, and in any case, he won't like me sniffing around his family's seat. But if you, as his commander, express your wish to visit the estate, he will be obliged to fulfill it, and will simply follow you as you are one of your attendants. There are 100 ways, 1,000 paths, and a myriad of loopholes in human lives that forces of evil can use to their advantage. I'm not sure which one of those led the demons to the gates of Heaven's Edge, but I do know it wasn't a simple raid. The kind crusaders faced every day. That incident involved a significant, more powerful entity, and that is why I'm asking for your help. We cannot be sure that such a tragedy will not happen again until we uncover the truth. Did you question Darren himself? I did, but the Count insisted he couldn't remember anything about the incident due to severe shock. He saw the demons at the very beginning, and they appeared at the celebration to announce the onset of the plague and mock their victims. He also witnessed the death of his mother. That was all he could tell me. We had found the young Count sleeping like a log on the floor in one of the rear chambers, having drunk about half of the family's wine cellar all by himself. There's no reason to disbelieve him on that matter. You suspect he's hiding something? I deliberately refuse to entertain any theories or suspicions so that it doesn't affect the investigation. There is a saying among my colleagues that suspicion is the mother of prejudice. Prejudice is married to failure. I can only tell you that the Count wasn't suffering from demonic possession, the most common malaise in our country at the time. Prelate Helrun examined the boy right after the tragedy and didn't sense anything awry with it. Fine, I'll help you. What do you need me to do? Now I ask you to speak to the Count and tell him that you wish to see Heaven's Edge. Please do not inform him of my presence right away. I will join your escort when it's time to travel to the estate. When we get there, I will also require your help during the investigation. You will have to follow me, observing my actions as an independent witness. If you have any other questions, please feel free to ask me. I will remain here for a while. I'll have to talk to this guy.
Hello again. I'm very pleased to meet you. Thank you for taking the time to talk to me. It's a pity I wasn't there at the Grey Garrison to witness your feats of strength with my own eyes. The flash, however, could be seen miles and miles away. Some people were frightened of it, thinking that the demons had blown up the remains of the keep. I, for one, knew immediately that it was a good sign. The light above the city showed us that there was still hope.
What are you painting? 5 people dressed in robes stand before the temple, men and women, young and old.
My brothers and sisters in faith. They sent me for help and then they saved my life, Commander. If the prioress hadn't ordered me to escape the city and seek help, I would have died right along with them. Instead, I met Queen Galfrey on my way to Nerosian and hurriedly returned to Canabris, only to find my friends dead on the steps of our desecrated temple. I want to draw them the way they live on in my memory. Wise, beautiful, and loyal to their goddess and their city to the very end.
This is why you have to treasure every moment you spend with the loved ones you love. Today, you're together, but who knows what tomorrow may bring.
You're right. I took their company for granted and never even imagined that they might just disappear in the blink of an eye. So many words left unspoken. Now it's my duty to make sure my friends and tutors did not die in vain. I will honor their sacrifice by making this world a bit more beautiful and kind.
What made an artist enlist in the army?
Perhaps I am a true artist, or simply an amateur who defaces canvases in my spare time. My goddess is a patron of art, so painting is part of my prayer, and I put all my heart into my pieces. But I am a cleric above all else, so I must also tend to others. I went to war because here's where I'm most needed. Sure, I could be painting idyllic landscapes and offering empty prayers to my goddess, but that won't stop people from dying. My goddess has no tolerance for false piety.
How could you possibly be of use to me in my army?
My name is Sozio Vanek. I am a cleric of Shaylin, the Eternal Rose and the Goddess of Beauty. Yes, I know that many people would consider me useless in a war. This is not a usual war, though. Just consider our enemy. The Abyss and his demons are the very embodiment of everything evil and ugly in the world. Perhaps a disciple of kindness and beauty might come in handy. I have no doubt that we will win this war, Commander. We just have to. It is our destiny. My role is to help you, and all those standing by your side in this struggle, to survive and flourish. Everyone deserves the chance to find peace and happiness in the world that they are defending so selflessly.
You wanted to discuss something with me?
Yes, I have a personal request. Before we undertake our journey and leave Canabris behind, I would like to visit Martyr Zacharias' cemetery for a funeral. It's not far from here, and it's important. I would like to pay my respects to my friends from the Temple of Shaylin who died defending the city. Also, if it's not too much trouble, I would like you to come with me to honor their memory. Their friends and family will be at the funeral, and perhaps the commander's personal presence will bring them comfort. I know that you are burdened by many cares right now, so I understand if you can't find the time. But if you could, I would be sincerely grateful. You must be rather busy indeed. Leading a crusade all by yourself is no joke. I still believe that you are up to the task. This war has been raging for 100 years, but you've given us a chance at victory.
Okay. Oh, there he is. He is a straight-up cleric. He got a glaive. Um, Arrow of Law. Okay. You're gonna be good with a glaive. Use a good glaive. Right? Okay.
I lead. You follow.
They are retreating in the direction of Dresden. Okay, so I should probably do this first, and then start going towards Dresden, which will let me do these two things. You're the war chief now. You're going to lead us to free Sarkoris from the Fae? I felt that the moment I saw you, this one is special, but that you'd go and get yourself a whole army in no time. That I did not expect. But how does your newfound power feel? They gone to your head? It's an odd feeling. So many people are counting on me. I can't let them down. Yes, it's a scary thing to be responsible for others, especially when you're not out picking mushrooms, you're taking them to war. Even if you win, some of them surely won't make it back home, but you're the one who has to bear the burden. But I know you'll do just fine, and not because I've seen you in battle, although you are worth a whole band of warriors in a fight. I know you'll make a fine war chief because you're not thinking about power or honors. You're concerned about the people in your charge. As long as you hold on to that, you have nothing to fear. Well, I didn't come here just to flap my gums. Since I'm going to war and you're in charge, I better do this the right way. My blade and my life are yours, war chief. I mean it not like it's not like I need a blade. My talons and beak will do the trick. But saying it like that is the done thing. My talons and beak are yours. Just doesn't have the same ring to it. Blah, blah, blah. There is something else. I can already see things are bad, but the tales of all of Sarkoris burning down and its people dying out. I'm sorry, I don't believe those. It can't be true. We're not the kind of folk that are just snuffed out like that. I have kin in the village not far from here. Currant Glen. Let's go there and talk to them. They have to fill us in. They're smart folk. Perhaps they'll help us in battle too. Together, we'll clear Sarkoris before you can say, "Alright, you foul creatures." Alright, I'll go and prepare the road ahead. Take care of yourself. Alright. I think we're going to go ahead and stop there for tonight, everybody. Thank you guys for coming and hanging out. I will be back tomorrow, and we'll pick up where we left off. And head out. But yeah, thanks for coming. And and I will see you guys next time.